in about 15 minutes. We're gonna hello. Hey, this is email Malloy, Camaro, and Stan, Camaro, Malloy, and email. Welcome to Friday Reds. This is Stanislaus, Stanley Jack. We're gonna prepare in about 15 minutes. We're gonna be in character as Professor Benjamin Washington, but I just had to set up our gear. We have four cameras, two on Instagram right here, the two on the right and the left, and then the middle is the Facebook Live and Facebook Live. The Terry Malloy account, the Ophir Camaro Breeze account, and then the Stanislaus account. The lighting's kind of bright on this one, but maybe it's just because it's yeah. So the Instagram, they have hearts, all right? The Instagram ones, they have hearts, and the Facebook is just straight out raw capture of my set. As you can see, we have the American flag, the Celeste family tree reunion, the director's shirt, my my guitar, and also I have an Ibanez guitar. Introduce that. Ibanez is my great-grandfather's mom's last name. Don Clemente Ibanez or Ibanez e.CELi. That's my great-grandfather. So I play the Ibanez electric guitar, so I'll probably be using it instead of the instead of my work in progress acoustic guitar, putting a Fender preamps, pickups, and I gotta modify this jack, and yeah, Stanley Jacks, again, copyrighted 2023 May 26, Friday Reds, e.CELi, all rights reserved. Friday Reds, Instagram and Facebook Live. All right, so hopefully somebody will join in. In the meantime, let me put on my suit and to be in character, and I gave you a little browse of my set. I could probably invite people, guests, on my next shows. I could invite in the stock show. Maybe one of these Fridays somebody can come here and be interviewed, or just a little variety talk show like what I did in LA, just to show that Friday Reds Live, Facebook Live, and Instagram Live is done every Fridays. All right, so let me get my suit. I'll be back. Let me get my suit. So I'll put on my costume here. I got my suit and tie. While I'm putting my suit. Hopefully somebody will join us. We got 10 minutes to go. Friday Reds, Professor Benjamin Washington, is every 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 8 p.m. That's when we start our show. We have a beginning, middle, and end, and we have a script. Let me put this on to be in character as Professor Benjamin Washington. Shoot. I just lift my long hair up to look like I'm a well-trimmed gentleman, well cut. They always say guys with long hair, their hygiene is not, that's BS. You know, for centuries Indians have long hair, and we have to on the Pacific, let me talk about long hair. The Pacific side, or on the west coast of USA, the indigenous people here, from all the way from well, Mexico, all the way Baja California, all the way up to Northern California, the Indians here, they wear a top knot hairstyle. If you see any of the Kung Fu, Shaolin, martial arts type movie, you'll see a top knot. Okay, so I put on a top knot style and cover my blue and red bandana. I don't wanna. I wear two of them because when I only wear one, they think it's the Bloods and the Crips. You know, some generation they think it's the Bloods and the Crips, and I'm about Indians and cowboys. You know, the West Coast is California, wild west. You know, Stockton, Modesto. It was a TV show called The Barkleys, the Big Valley TV show. I know you watch those reruns on TV reruns, Me TV, and see, we got about 7 minutes. So 7 minutes. Hello, who's that? Think and Libby. Hey, how's it going? Think and Libby. Let me just wave you here. It's live interactive. I'm getting ready for my character as Professor Benjamin Washington. Yeah, I created this character, Professor Benjamin Washington, way back when I was in maybe 2009, Los Angeles. I was living in by Paramount Studio, Melrose, Western and Melrose, right behind Paramount Studio. Western Avenue, Melrose Place, and Melrose and Santa Monica Boulevard. Western Avenue. A lot of Central Americans in that area, and you have to speak Spanish in that area. My Spanish was very rusty, and I don't know, I had to wink it over there. I said, look at the menu. It's in English. When I was working for all sorts of fast food, you know, survival jobs back in 2005, 2004. That's when, yeah. So there you go, Professor Benjamin Washington. I gotta put my eyeglasses, and yeah, there, Professor. This is Professor Benjamin Washington. Let me adjust this camera. Let me wide grab it. All right, how much minutes should we go? We got 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes. We got Think and Libby. How's it? The Instagrams, they have hearts on them. Just remember that. Oh, somebody joined on here on the Camaro. Hello. This one, I'm not sure on the Camaro account. I used Facebook Lite because I've had issues with hackers trying to shut me down. Calling my, I don't know. But I don't know. Professor Benjamin Washington. You can find the playlist of previous shows that I did, Instagram and Facebook Live. You can go to my YouTube channels. Well, right now the latest and greatest is Takea_L Stan. So 2KEA_L_STAN. Takea_L Stan. You select the playlist and look at FRIDAYREDS. Hey, somebody's at the Malloy account. That's good. Facebook account. Apparently Facebook doesn't have interactives. That's what I like about Instagram Live. You can see people joining in the live show. So Chief Coconut on this side, on camera number 1. Ophir Camaro Breeze on this one. Ophir Camaro Breeze on this one. Malloy is on this one, and e.CELi is on this one. Email is Stanley Jack. All right. Okay. Let me pull out my. I'm gonna use the Ibanez guitar. Ibanez guitar. It's an electric guitar. It has 4 pickups. Well, it's 2 with double, but I'm not gonna plug it on the amp. Are we ready? Oh, we got 3 more minutes. It's not as loud. Is it loud? Is the guitar loud enough? Think and Libby? Are you listening? Is this guitar loud enough? Two more minutes. So what we have is a script for Professor Benjamin Washington. We actually go through a pre-planned script of how our beginning, middle, and end works out. Sometimes our goal is to usually have a 30-minute show, but sometimes I go over an hour or 2 hours. which is crazy. So I've tried to limit it to just 1 hour, or just maybe half an hour. But the goal of our show is to, minister. And all right, it's 8 o'clock. Hello, this is Stanley Jack as Professor Benjamin Washington. It's copyrighted 2023 May 26, e.CELi, all rights reserved. Our show is Friday Reds, every Friday 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're just trying to show a circle. Right here we got, I don't know if you can see that. So we're showing the circle, and there's a little bubble inside or outside, a little bubble. It's Baybayin Ba character. He's got a circle with a little tiny circle inside, but that circle is on the east side. Okay, so that represents the Ba character of the Alibata or Baybayin or ancient Ophir, now called Philippines, character sets, the writing systems. So when we enter the circle, we do what we call a first in, last out model. So we come into the circle, enter that little bubble, we do our thing inside, but to enter that we have to say the Lord's Prayer or a prayer, and then we've added the Star Spangled Preamble, which is the American national anthem, but I call it National Anthem 2.0 because we want to incorporate the preamble lyrics, the U.S. Constitution's preamble for the USA government. So we are entering the Garden of Eden circle. It's a virtual world, and you are in our virtual world, you're watching, and so that's how we enter the circle. And then we exit out of the circle by doing again what came in first will come out last. So I said the Lord's Prayer, so the Lord's Prayer or the prayer will be the last when we exit on that same little tiny bubble, the circle, little what do you call it, the Ba character in Baybayin or Alibata, the ancient writing systems of what is now called Philippines. All right. So I believe the Japanese also has that same character, a circle with a little tiny circle in it. So that circle inside, that dot, is on the east side. Okay, so the gate, it's the gate of the house. The Ba in the meaning of the Ba, it means house. Okay, a dwelling, bahay, ba. Okay, so it's the Garden of Eden. It's the entrance to the house, the Ba. All right, so Our Father, who art in heaven, holy is thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Deliver us from every evil, O Lord. For the kingdom and the power and the glory are yours. Alright, so hi, this is Professor Benjamin Washington, and this is our weekly Friday show, every Friday 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we have just entered the East Gate, and we're gonna fulfill the entry password, or what we call the abracadabra, the spoken words prayer, which was the Matthew 6, the Lord's Prayer. And of course we're gonna open up also with the Spangled Preamble, and it goes like this: we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Yeah. Welcome to Friday Reds. This is Professor Benjamin Washington. Yes, what we do is we talk about the past, the present, and the future. And usually we begin with the past, and because it's May and it's Asian Pacific, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, we're going to talk about break rooms, working conditions, rights of the farm workers out in the Delano, California. May is also a significant Mayflower month, and we're gonna adjust this one camera here. Yeah. So Cinco de Mayo was early this month, and that was a fiasco because apparently Mexicans, they just celebrate it for their benefit, but Cinco de Mayo in the United States is more of a Chicano thing, and it's a combination of Filipinos and Mexicans, U.S. history. And it began in Delano, California, where Filipinos began, you know, to seek better working conditions, and that's the same thing with today with what's happening with Writers Guild of America strike. Anyways, so looking at my script, what it had here, we'll talk about the Asian American Native Heritage. Anyways, the PBS, Public Broadcasting, PBS, they have the documentary, and if you want to watch it, go to PBS and search what time it's aired. It talks about the Delano, California grape strike, businesses against businesses that run that kind of industry. And then oh yeah, rest in peace to Tina Turner. Rest in peace to my cousin in Bulinaw, Quirico. So just again, I'm in Modesto, California. Professor Benjamin Washington, and my youth, I grew up in the Silicon Valley, and I wanted to mention Silicon Valley, San Jose, because there are still a lot of things happening with the Chicano people, the mixed people, that think it's just a Mexican thing on May 5th, and so, or this month of May. It's an Asian American thing, and Filipinos in Delano, California, in the mid by 70s, something happened. They left us out when Larry Leong passed out. But in the early 70s, you had Bruce Lee. He passed away at 73, also the same time as Larry Leong. Coincidence. But everybody was kung fu fighting in the early 70s. A lot of Vietnamese refugees were coming in. So I had to work at integrating Asians that have been here for a long time and Asians that just recently arrived. And then I had to help coordinate, but that was like in the 90s. I had to do that in the 90s, but those things were happening in their time, my dad's time, my father's time, regarding the early Manos. So again, PBS kind of explains that. Alex Fabros is in that documentary, so is Johnny Itleong, son of Larry Itleong. I also interact with Johnny, right? You know, Johnny, and Alex is on this Facebook account. So is Johnny. I think Johnny's also on this Facebook account, and I interact with them. But they're in that PBS documentary about, you know, the Filipino Americans get jilted, meaning Mexican Americans took all the credit for this huelga and the what do you call it? But it was Filipinos are in the American history, and it only took Barack Obama to recognize the Filipino World War II veterans, and it's Memorial Day weekend today, you know. So I do this Facebook Live to restate that we've always been embedded in the USA culture, but we've always been embedded in the Mexican culture too, the Spanish Mexican. So there is one story, well, the Maharlika Kingdom, the Pacific Kingdom, but I'm just saying here in California, which was this was Mexico before it became California, before it became a USA state. Filipinos have always been here. We've been here. Filipinos and Mexicans, or indigenous people, have always intermarried. Filipino Indians and Mexican Indians, they've always been one. But you can tell, Mexico telenovela, they've always used white Spanish people in their TV channels. White leading men. The same thing in the Philippines. They always use mestizos, whiter looking leading men. But there's, like I said, there were Spanish white men in the Philippines, Spanish white men in Mexico. And the brown, the black, the negrito, and the brown indigenous are a combination of Apaches, Navajos, because when the Mexicans raided those tribes, the Maharlikans, the Hawaiians, when they raided those islands and raided those tribes in Arizona or New Mexico, they would take their captives and enslave them all together. And that's the history of the Indios. Okay, so there's the segregation of the Negritos, which had kinky hair, then the Indios, which had straight hair, and then the Chinos, which were slant eyes. But they were all crumpled out as servants in the Spanish Mexican Empire. And the Manila Galleon is way older than the Manila Galleon slave ships were way older than the African slave ships. Still run by conquistadors and European slave traders. Portuguese, Spanish, Italians, they were the sailors. They had the technology that was given to them by the descendants of Noah. All right, so all I can say is what they did to my uncles, my fathers, my in Delano, California, and the early Manons, Uncle Ray, Torda, the Macaros, in Stockton, they treated us like shit. That's what they did to my fathers, my uncles, my bloods, that even though they were part mestizo, they have Italian blood, they look indigenous or Indios because their parents are, they were called mulattos. Mulatto, Chino, Indios. They were a mixed, because the Spanish culture tried to practice the Gentile and Jew, the integration, but still they had class segregation. But yeah, they say that even though I grew up in the Silicon Valley as professor and learning with the American USA Public Library and Education, the DNA, the genes, your genes, they shape you. Even your past, whatever your ancestors did, it's still embedded in your genes. So even though I'm a professor today and I read a lot of books from a point of view of other scientists and other professors or researchers, I still have those DNAs when my ancestors were slaves. Like in a Catholic church, I always see Saint Juan Diego, and the Virgin of Guadalupe. I sense that in my DNA, my genes, the genes in my brain, as if the memories of my fathers, my uncles, great grandfathers, they had to be in this colonized, Spanish culture before 1898. And then the U.S. came after the Spanish-American War. U.S. took over the Philippines in the Paris Treaty, and then they made all the Filipinos speak English only, try to erase their Spanish speaking. I mean, there's still people that speak, and most of the words in colonized countries speak Spanish or have the Spanish, and then they put aside the indigenous. So that's what was in the past. But in the present, there are now, tools that can restore your language. That's the good positive thing about the artificial intelligence, is that you can teach the AI to actually learn your language. So save the indigenous tribal tongue. And I have yet to do that with my indigenous tribal tongue, which is called Bulinaw. The lingua is different. Indigenous tongue, it's totally different from Ilocano, totally different from Tagalog, totally different from Spanish. It's indigenous, but there are Nahuatl words in there. There are Spanish words in there, and there's Italian words in there. So that's the beauty of AI. As I mentioned, Tina Turner, rest in peace. It's one of the, I guess, growing up as a professor, music is also important. From Leonard Skinner to Tina Turner, music influenced, and it's been embedded also in my genetics. That's what I was exposed to. My ears, the radio stations, that top 40 hits, it did not segregate genres. It just put all the different genres in one radio station, and they call it the top 40s. Today everything's segregated genre. You go to a TV channel and you have all country music, then one other channel it's all rock. It's all segregated. But whatever you do at present, 2023, okay, we're talking present now because we were just talking about the past. Whatever we do now, the present is what we have gained, and I'm pushing for women's right, and there should be a female U.S. president in this coming election, which there is. Candidate Nikki Haley from South Carolina. Nikki Haley, she's Republican. So I've been sharing on my Facebook as well as Instagram who Nikki Haley is. She's not black, she's not white, she's in the middle. She's Indian, like Kamala Harris, but growing up in the South. So that's beautiful. And she has, I think she's not a Democrat, but a Republican, but her point of view makes sense. And she saw the environment of segregation. She saw the solutions for segregation, and she grew up in America, and I believe that's the kind of people, the new generation, that had immigrant parents that ran away, left the old country. Hey, what's up, Alan? The old country, Nikki Haley saying that her parents left India because they've witnessed soldiers killing people, or have no human rights, meaning unlike the US government, we have our First Amendments, we have our amendments, constitutional rights. But in India, what goes, whatever the government leaders do, what goes, what is go. So she knows, Nikki Haley, she knows the value of the US government and the surroundings that she lives in. She married a military man. She's born and raised here, and so she knows, and she's better qualified because she understands the recent issues and the value of our constitutional rights. Apparently, a lot of these MAGA, they don't know their constitutional rights, and they try to push too much to the right, and you got these Proud Boys or Oath Keepers and Tiki Marching Boys that still push the old losers Confederate flag, that value that enslaved many people of color, blacks, and they try to say, hey, that's what we're culture, yeah, but that is a loser culture, and that's what Trump, a lot of Trump, they showed the rebel flag, which against the Union, the rebel flag, the Confederate flag, the Johnny Reb. I mean, those are losers. That's the losers. And people, they want to win back. They want to counter. And that's the issue of the internal issues in the United States of America. But until we resolve that, until a woman like Nikki Haley is voted in to be a president of the United States, she's a Republican, she's in the South, and she's in the middle of between blacks and whites of her county. So she would be a better president, and that's my opinion, compared to Trump, because we already know what happened during his term. And currently, we're at the Biden, and we're having this problem with, their budget situation. Here they are, these old, grumpy old white males, McCarthy and, and Biden, they're playing games with we the people of the United States. You shouldn't play games with people's lives, senior citizens, welfare, senior citizen social security and stuff. We're just, reconstructing after COVID-19, a reconstruction era, and Biden is making every effort that we gain that reconstruction. And they're accusing this, Biden, he's doing a good job reconstructing, reviving the USA. Come on, COVID-19 was just a few years ago. Practically ended late last year, but all I can say is May, this month, ends any kind of COVID-19 type, but COVID-19 still exists, people still can die from it, but that's the present situation. And all I can say is one of the biggest thing is also our children. It's been 1 year since the Uvalde shooting. It's sad, but there's technologies that you can change all the triggers of guns to detect if the gun is owned by that. So that should be a higher priority than trying to ban Americans for their Second Amendment. Just develop technology that will not allow the gun owner to pull a trigger. There should be a trigger, a mechanical, with now you can put a chip in there that detects, who you are. It should be possible. All right, so, but guns, it's not the guns, it's the human beings that have been polluted with their mind. Their mind's been polluted. And I always stress what's always worked is moral values. People have to stick with moral values. And abusive policing is not right. You know, all the police do is they enforce laws. That's all the cops do. They think, you know, they're doing what. But if the law is wrong, you have to speak up and voice out. You know, you hire a public defender and several lawyers to explain your case that this law is not good for we the people. All right. So the beauty of the United States again. So we are privileged in the United States that these laws are enforced, and we have amendments to the Constitution to better our lives as human beings. And these politicians, they work for us, we the people. And so we the people, we have to speak up and stop these nonsense right now between, you know, about this budget. I think we the people have to speak up. We the voters that voted for Biden or these political leaders, it is our responsibility to voice out. Tell them, knock it off. Enough is enough. Don't mess with the senior citizen programs. My mom needs it. Right? Any government programs for the senior citizens, you know, knock it off. And let the president do his job. But yeah, I mean, it's balance of power, right? The executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch. So the legislative, the House versus the Senate. The House is run by, is majority Republicans, but they're being, you know, not conforming the game. They're making it difficult for this last 2 years for this president, and that's what they did with Obama, his last term. So that's what they do. They are a resistance instead of helping the people and maintain us. That is, they're working for us. All right, we the people, we give them those jobs. So whoever you are, the people that represents those Republicans that are being difficult to this current administration. Sure, you gotta check, but we need to increase every budget for military and budget for our domestic needs. We gotta help the homeless. We gotta help the poor. We gotta help the U.S. Citizens, and tax the rich. That's been done before. All right, so Mr. Sanders and you know, help the poor. That's the beauty about the Democratic Party, is to help the poor. That's their focus. Republicans, they help the rich, the corporate America. Corporate America needs to be responsible and protect USA. I mean, they began their corporations in the United States, and then they abandoned it and weakened the people. That is wrong. All right, so the future. Let me see. What time is it now? Oh, it's 8:35. Maybe another 20 minutes. Okay. What else I'll cover? My elderly mom. Yeah. As a professor, you know, these things, the national situations with the budget, how it affects us local people, especially in our government, local government here in Modesto, where I'm at. It's probably different where my cousin is at, you know, in Santa Clara County or San Joaquin County, but I'm in Stanislaus County, Modesto, California, and you know, the police department needs to engage more with the community and I suggest that to every county in the United States, the police needs to engage with the community, meaning not with guns, not rescuing, engage with the community, especially the youth, to make them trust the police. Right now, the youth are being programmed with not liking the police. Encouraging music, from the music, they want to defund the police. They want to hate the police, right? So if the young adults or the young minors are being, they start hating the cops. The police are supposed to help protect and serve the community. But what's happening is the relationship with the local police and the children in San Modesto. I did truancy work, and that was bringing up truancy work, meaning I went to help clear out gangs and stuff in the city of San Jose, and the funds should be for the counselors with the police, but the police needs to spend more time with the community, with the kids, the high schoolers. Go to every high school. Every police should be in uniform, but not in the aggressive state, but in the social interaction. Some counties or cities, they have gyms, after school programs. Police should go there. There's the young adult, 21 years and up. They have music, they have live music, bars. Police should go there and observe and enjoy and be friendly to the community, right? Only when there are illegal activities, then that's when the police should apply their power as enforcers. But go to help the community, help these young kids, help these after school programs, participate. Go help the homeless, go help them out, go talk to them, what their needs. That's what the police should do. They shouldn't be, American Disability Act, ADA.gov. I know it's police enforcement is just enforcing a lawbreaker, but they need, because they're out on their beats, they need to talk to these homeless people, these people that have tents. They need to go talk to them and gather data. Hey, what kind of help, what kind of services do you need to here? That's what the police should do. Go gather data locally here. There's a lot. I think everywhere in the U.S. there's homeless, at least several homeless people panhandling. You go over there and help them get money, help them panhandle, because they need to survive until programs in the county have hey, what's up, Percy? I'm on Facebook Live. There are programs in the county that I don't say there are Facebook in the county. There are homeless people that need assistance, and I think it's the job of the local police. I know they're not the mental health program, but they need to be the enforcer to enforce the American Disability Act, ADA.gov, to help the mentally ill, the drug addicts, the homeless. They can get routed to the right resources to get serviced by the mental health people to help them out, to help the homeless. And that's what the jobs of the police. But if they're just on their cars and issue tickets and reject kids that are trying to gather, or young adults 21 and over that are trying to gather an event to You know, that's my opinion with the local police department. And yeah, I mean, Mr. Chauvin and George Floyd, you know, on Minnesota, the police there, they're you know, revamping the whole policing mechanism in that city since George Floyd was assassinated or executed publicly, lynched. All right, all right. What else? What kind of other topics? Well, let me ask. Let me check out what's person one. I gotta. Yeah, this is a cousin here. He's on. Uh, I'm on Facebook Live now, Percy. I gotta answer that. So yeah, yeah. That's the thing is I got 5 accounts, Facebook accounts, and I got 4 Instagram accounts. One's for Malloy and Terry Malloy. If you ask me where I get these character names, Terry Malloy is the name of a character that Marlon Brando played in not Streetcar Named Desire, but another movie, On the Waterfront. If you watch a movie On the Waterfront by Marlon Brando, I could have been somebody, but his name was Terry Malloy. So I have a Facebook account named Terry Malloy, and I've been since I was a little baby. That's what they called me too. But coincidence, and then the Stanislaus Emiliano Zapata. Marlon Brando played that character in Viva Zapata, Emiliano. All right, so that's where the email, and then of course Stanley's Jack, Billy Jack, indigenous half breed. It was same again. Everybody was kung fu fighting in the early '70s. That was one of the good movies. Aside from Bruce Lee movies, it was also Tom Laughlin movies. Tom Laughlin was a great actor, and he made independent films. And then, of course, later on, you got Chuck Norris making his independent films. But independent filmmaking is the focus. But by 2024, I, Professor Benjamin Washington, I'm hoping to convince women to vote to empower the 19th Amendment and to empower a woman president candidate like Nikki Haley. I'm sure there's going to be another female candidate. I believe there is one for the Democratic Party, but I haven't really promoted that yet because Kamala Harris and Biden, if they re-win, if they have a second term, and then if Biden, you know, he's an old man, something happens to him, or a repeat of what happened to Abe Lincoln, assassinated, and a Johnson took over, and then John F. Kennedy, and then a Johnson took over. I don't know if Biden, anything happens to Biden, and then Kamala Harris. The Harris might be related to the Johnsons, so who knows? All I can say is 2024 is, you got to do your homework now. You know, you do your homework, you pick a good candidate. I would prefer, again, a black president or a woman president. That's just me. You don't have to follow my thing, but it would make sense in helping America weed out these losers, these oath keepers and proud boys and tiki boys, because these are product of white businessmen of the past that were really cheaters and rip off, con artists. USA, first white people that came here were criminals of Europe. Criminals. They also did the same thing in Australia. The first white people that migrated in Australia were all white criminals of Europe. Same thing in the US. The first people that migrated in the US were white people, criminals of Europe. And then there's the slave trade of the Roman Empire descendants, the Spanish Empire. They made Portuguese and Italian sailors, and the slave trade that began in the Philippines, the Manila trade, way before the African trade. And a lot of blacks didn't just come from Africa, they come from Papua New Guinea, all those black and indigenous. So Black America is confused thinking they're all African, but they have indigenous blood. They have African blood and Pacifican blood. And again, Iyong Tonge. Yes, Tonga. My neighbor was Tongan, Daniel. And Samoan of Sunnyvale, SOS, Samoans of Sunnyvale. Ooh, something came off. Oh, my set came off. My back screen. It's a sign I have to, I got 15 minutes left. What else can I talk about? Present. Well, I kind of mentioned what should happen in the future, that United States needs a female president. And if you go to constitutionus.com, there are 27 amendments. Think of the 28th. What can you do to better our culture in the United States? The 20. Right now we have 27. And in third world countries like Mexico and Philippines, they gotta practice these amendments, because when U.S. left the Philippines or blocked the Philippines or Mexico, they didn't get to experience these U.S. Constitution human rights amendments. And so Mexico and Philippines, they kind of like try to restore the old Mexican Empire before USA Spanish-American War happened. They try to restore, like the Ayala family in Manila, they're still maintaining that Spanish heritage in the Philippines. And I'm sure in Mexico they have, that's the TV shows, the telenovelas, they're all white Mexicans. Most of the TV shows produced in Mexico, it's run by mostly white actors. So, and it's only a few percent of them in Mexico, white Mexicans, there's only a few percent. But that's the problem in the Philippines and Mexico, is that they need those amendments, the U.S. Constitution amendments, they need them in their Mexican Constitution and Philippine Constitution for the human rights. That's just my idea. But it takes us, we the privileged that have been living this wonderful near heaven life of enforced human rights, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, are rights. Always take the Fifth Amendment if you get into trouble. All right, what's up, Percy? Say, always take the Fifth if you get into trouble. Don't self-incriminate. Don't tell that you did something wrong to the cops or any official authority, witness. Never say anything that will self-incriminate you. Just keep silent and allow your lawyer or your public defender to speak for you, but don't speak for yourself and self-incriminate yourself. Just say you take your Fifth. All right, so yeah, so again, the Instagram channels are the ones with the hearts. The Facebook channels or the, and then I'm gonna upload these two clips anyways, the ones with no heart and the one with a heart on YouTube on my Tukea_L_Stan YouTube channel. Again, you have my director shirt, my Celeste family tree reunion, the USA flag, and my set is falling apart. My green screen just came out. You can see that little white strip right there. We need to build a better set. So I will hopefully invite other guests in this Facebook Live. But in the meantime, like as I said, I am currently taking care of my elderly mom. And hey, Manuel, Buboy, hey, what's up? This is Professor Benjamin Washington, Facebook Friday Reds. I do this every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is the first on Facebook. I've been doing it on Instagram. But I'm in character as a politician, into politics, convincing my viewers, whoever wants to view this in Instagram or Facebook Live, that or a repeat on YouTube, or just rewind this. I'm almost done. I started at 8. I got 10 more minutes to go. But Professor Benjamin Washington is our main goal is to convince to vote for the female candidate for the U.S. presidency. There is one for the Republican Party named Nikki Haley. She is Mumbai, born in the U.S. She's like Kamala Harris, but she was raised in the South, in South Carolina. So she's a candidate. She started in February campaigning on Iowa, and I'm pro women CEO, women, because women, they know how hard it is to carry a baby 8 months, 9 months, right? So the women, they know how to concern more of the domestic situation, helping the homeless, helping the elderly, helping family leave when you have a baby, the women's rights, the womb. All right, abortion. Anyways, where was I? All right, future, yes. Here in Modesto, Stanislaus County, I'm trying to gather all the local songwriters and get their local songs that are danceable. You can, if it's like trance, hip hop dance, rave dance, country dance, songs that make you want to dance. So I'm asking the local producers, song producers here in Modesto and Stanislaus County. So once I gather enough of those songs, dance music, then I get a DJ or mix it as a dance sequence for 1 hour, a 1 hour playlist, 1 hour spin of local music, and create 8 of those sets, 8 of those danceable songs. So that's what I'm doing for the future while I'm, watching my elderly mom, taking care of my elderly mom. And I don't know, Percy asked, am I going to, no, my mom doesn't seem to want to leave, doesn't want to let me go to Hollywood, go back to LA. She wants me to be her servant, take care of her here. I'm managing, but I'm not out and about, or I'm not down in LA, taking any kind of acting job or acting gig. I've had offers to go to work like outside of the state. I have a what you call actors agency that would, you know, propose. Company called 9 of 9, and there's other companies in it based in LA. But while I'm here, I'm going to produce this show, create this dance show in Stanislaus County with local musicians in Modesto, Stanislaus. There's a lot of musicians here. There's a lot of bands, a lot of singers, songwriters. There's a lot of great music in Modesto. And I'm sure the same thing in Sunnyvale or Mountain View, or, you know, the Bay Area. There's a lot of bands, a lot of, you know, greater. Me, I'm just trying to promote the character, here in the outlaw country, you know, Oakdale, there's a lot of cowboys and rodeos, you know, a lot of fields, farms, ranches. So it's not like the Bay Area, San Francisco city life. No, it's more, you know, out in the country, cornfields, orchards, you know, peaches, almond trees. So it's different from the Bay Area in Santa Clara or San Jose or San Francisco. Is different. It's a different environment. So while I'm here and while I'm accompanying my elder mom and I'm doing this Friday Reds show as Professor Benjamin, that's what I'm doing. In the future is to, you know, what we do is you usually do a business plan first to make that show happen. Hey, what's up, Norbert? Congratulations for your official career. It's nice. Maybe you could learn some submarine technologies. But anyways, robotics, underwater robotics is here in the U.S. At least the research people here, underwater robots, underwater vehicles. All right, what else can I do now? All right, I'm gonna close this Friday Reds as Professor Benjamin Washington. So what I did early is, here's a circle, right? In the circle, I entered the circle at the east gate. I'm inside the Garden of Eden, or just what my virtual place is at, so I can speak truth about the beginning, you know, the past, present, and the future. And so that's my Friday Reds truth. And then I'm going to close the circle, right? We call it the first in, last out. So I went in with a prayer. I said the Star Spangled Banner with a preamble on it of the Constitution. And that's my intro. And then my outro, coming out of the circle, I do the reverse. I say the Star Spangled Banner with the preamble of the Constitution U.S. and then say a prayer or closing prayer to get out of the circle. So the circle is like you know, the character Ba in Bye Bye In. It's a circle with a little tiny circle, and that tiny circle is the entrance and exit only. That's how the Garden of Eden is. You know, it's like a Ba. The character Ba is I don't know how you pronounce it in Japanese, but the Japanese may also pronounce it Ba. But it looks like this. Okay, Ba. You know, it has a little circle. I don't know if you see it, but that's how it is. It looks like the little circle in there is the entrance gate and the exit gate. Let me see that. Entrance gate, I don't know if you saw that, but it's Ba. The character Ba in Bye Bye In Bolinao, or, you know, the ancient writing systems of Ophir or Maharlika, Bolinao. And I see that character also in Japanese. I have done a full detailed history of that character, but Ba is Bahai. It means home, you know, Ba, like Baboy. Anyways, I don't know if people are familiar with the Bible character set, So, aba kada e gaha e la mga nao para sa tao waya. Right? So, ba for bahay, ba. All right? So now we're going to exit exit the circle. So we're going to say or kind of hum a cappella the Star Spangled Preamble, National Anthem 2.0. And July 5th is my friend's birthday, Dan Valiran, Mr. Dan, Uncle Dan, not Uncle Sam, but Uncle Dan. In July 4th, we say songs to Uncle Sam, the Star Spangled Banner, but the Star Spangled Preamble, we sing it to Uncle Dan. Uncle Sam is the birthday of the USA, 1776, July 4th. But July 5th is my addendum or the preamble of the U.S. Constitution into the Star Spangled Banner, and I call it Star Spangled Preamble and National 2.0. And here we go. It goes like this. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Yeah. ConstitutionUS.com. Check out the 27 amendments and enforce human rights to your government, Mexico and Philippines especially. Equalize it, because after the Spanish-American War in the 1900s, and after USA let the Philippines give its independence, 1947, Mexico and Philippines are missing out on those decades of, right? In 1870, well, Mexico still, but in 1870, black people can vote. That's called the 15th Amendment. And then on the 19th Amendment, 1910, which ended the Mexican Revolution, the 19th Amendment is women can vote. And then the decades, are missing in the constitutions of Mexico and Philippines, and the way Filipinos and Mexicans live a life. Not until in the 60s, Lariat Leon and Cesar Chavez in Delano, California, they request for better working conditions, working wages, and break rooms. Break restrooms. And so that labor rights happened, and everybody was kung fu fighting in the 70s. All right? So everything began in the 70s, the microprocessor and so on. All right, so thank you very much. I'm gonna say the Lord's Prayer and then close that. Our Father, who art in heaven, holy is thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Deliver us from every evil. Amen. For the kingdom and the power and the glory are yours now and forever. Yeah, so this weekend is a Memorial Day weekend, but it's also Pentecost. 50 days after Easter or resurrection. All right, so have a nice Memorial Day weekend, and also Pentecostal, which is Book of the Apostles, Acts chapter 2. It's tongues like of fire. Look it up, tongues like of fire, or tongues of like fire. But check it out, that's my second album, and it has my brother's. It's an old project that's been revised over and over. It has the songs Filipina Girl, it has Did I Do You Wrong, it has You're My One and Only, it has Mestiza Girl, it has all those songs sung by my brothers. And we're still all waiting for my older brother Domingo to finish his written song. But thank you for watching Friday Reds, and salamat po. Percy, Nomer, Uboy, Manuel. Think about Libby. There are other people here on this, because I have 4 cameras going. All right, that's it. That's the end of Professor Benjamin Washington's character. We're gonna get out of our costume, because we do this every week, every Friday, at least as Professor Benjamin Washington. But right now, we're time to finish, because we've ended the professor. We remove our gear. Again, this is raw captured live, and I don't authorize or I don't give any consent to AI users, the artificial intelligence tools online, or any cloners or hackers. I don't give any consent to them. If creators want to use my content, they need to get my content that I create online, ask a license, permission to use my image, my voice, because our AI, artificial intelligence, they can clone you. They can pretend to be me and call you. Maybe Percy, you got a call that's from an AI, and you're asking those questions, and I don't know what you're talking about, man. So somebody's talking to my mom, but my sister Rose and I, and we're in control. We take care of my mom. I don't know what you're hearing. My mom can't do shit. She can't do things anymore. I'm the boss. My sisters are the boss. They help me. Those that help me take care of my mom, those are my e.CELi family. Those that have not showed up in my house to help my mom and me, they're not members of my family. They're bullshit. We've helped so many people. My dad helped so many people in this family. My brother helps, we helped a lot of people in our family, and it's bullshit. But I don't say shit. All I can say is do a good job. As long as you do good, you help your family, local families here in Stanislaus County, Modesto. I'm just trying to do a good thing. Spread the gospel, spread the good news. How to enter the Garden of Eden. How do you enter? You gotta be in good character. You gotta say prayers. You gotta know your prayers. You gotta know your Bible. You gotta know what Jesus, you gotta walk the walk, talk the talk. Those that love their parents, you honor your parents. That's basic commandments of God. But people disobey, they like to disobey. They disobey that. They corrupt my children to hate me. Whoever is doing that, corrupting my children, what kind of evil person are you? Those are my children. You're messing with their mind. You've been, I created them. We created them with my partner, but somebody corrupted, somebody evil in my own family. And so your family, you got to be careful in your own family, because discern the good, the bad, and the ugly, because it's in your own family. Your problems, your drama is your own family. Your worst enemy is yourself. It's the man in the mirror. It's the man, I'm for a good team like the apostles, and the Acts of the Apostles. They furthered the vision of Jesus, Yahusha. They wrote, as I tell everybody, write. They wrote, they put it in writing, typed it up, they made it into a book. That's all I ask my brothers and sisters and relatives. All you need to do is write. What's so hard about writing a poem, writing a song, writing your story? So here today in Modesto, I'm asking, dance songs. When everybody's dancing a song, somebody that wrote locally here in Modesto, I stand, stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by. That's what family is all about. We do together, we family. We get, my local family here in Stanislaus County, Modesto. That's all I have. Whatever I have, people that I meet here, they're my family. They're here. I interact with my local family here. My blood relative family. All they want is, oh, have you made money? Have you chismoso somebody? No, but I know the creative members of my family. I know it's my DNA, the creative, the genetic, performing arts. My dad, my mom, they sang. Both of my parents, they sang and danced. But they have these old culture stuff that gamble. You gamble in making a book and try to sell it at Amazon. That's a better gambling. You invest on your own self-service business, whatever it is. Carpentry, wiping somebody's ass. A service. You're a service provider, independent service provider, as long as you get paid for it. Nothing's for free. But all right, all I can say is I've been trying to gather our family, the Celesti reunion. I want to reunite our family, the e.CELi reunion. You know, the Hoyohoi, which is breeze in English. The indigenous name Hoyohoi is a you know, wind, gone with the wind. So my family here in Modesto are the musical people, the people that write music, the singer-songwriters, the you know, open micers. So I have just this future vision of creating music videos and a dance show, and invite those artists to be in the show once it's, you know, once it's become popular. But the idea first, planning it, you know, hopefully it's a no budget project, but everything costs money to set up. Like my target is 8 episodes. One episode, 1 hour, that's already a lot of, you know, that's already unless you have people that believe in it. And you know, can you believe I've asked my siblings to be in a singing group, but they threw it away. Even today, you know, it's a business. You create content. It sells, not sell, but you just keep making them. You know, whether it's a book, whether it's, you know, just a merchandise, you know, you just create. You make our own, made by the e.CELis, made by the Celesti. You know, my nephew now is painting his Rizaldi Jr. He's painting his own artwork. That's good. That's his own work. That's his own. Help him out, sell it, help him promote it. That's what we need. That's the kind of chismus. But we're, you know, we're Italian. We're a mixed family, Italian, Filipino family. Well, Italian, Filipino, Mexican, because Mexican and Filipinos are basically the same. But this is a time, you know, month of May is April. May is Mayflower, but it's an important month for recognizing our community. And in San Carlos County, there's a lot of us. It's just, like I said, participating in events. But sadly, Cinco de Mayo was dominated by Mexican flags, which I don't like. I mean, they should at least have an American flag with a Mexican flag. But no, man, it's like Mexico. Here at Crow's Landing, it's Mexicans. They need to have a Filipino flag added with that. Even if they're not Filipino, they need to put in a Filipino flag with a with an American flag, and then call it Cinco de Mayo Huelga strike of a Filipinos that started in Delano, California. But no, right now they're just totally thinking it's a Mexican made in, you know, event in Mexico. That's crazy. You know, I mean, there was an event in Mexico, but you're in the United States, you're in the U.S., and you're just flagging the Mexican flag. What do you think this is, Mexico? But anyways, a lot of these guys, they're getting pulled over. But I don't know, it's that old country mentality. You're in the United States. The flag is, this is the flag. I don't give a rat's ass if you're Mexican or Filipino. Waving your flag in a U.S. Government, it just doesn't look right to other cultures, right? And if everybody raises their other flags that from, you know, I mean, it just doesn't look right. But wave it with the American flag always. That's my advice to those Mexicans here in Modesto when they celebrate Cinco de Mayo. And we need more Filipinos that come here to wave the Filipino flags on Cinco de Mayo here in the American Graffiti, Modesto, California, home of the lowriders, the cruisers, cruising. American Graffiti is the cruising capital of the world. I mean, there's cruising everywhere in the U.S. But the movie, when the movie was made, American Graffiti, it was about the American culture of cruising. All right, I'm ranting on. I did my this Friday spiel about a female candidate, Republican or Democrat. But Professor Benjamin Washington, that's the little script about today's talk. So you can rewind this. I write it first. I pre-write a beginning, middle, and end before I talk, because you can't remember. Otherwise, people say, your own family members will say, you're kalatoka. But they don't understand structured beginning, middle, and end, structured speech, planning, and teamwork. Everybody wants to be a solo artist. Everybody wants to be on their own instead of teamwork. I miss Auntie Lynn. She was teamwork. All right. Grandma Lynn to my nephews. But that's about it. Thank you for watching. Oh, we're on OT. Oh, it's 9:20. I gotta go. God bless, and see you next Friday. Okay, I do this every Friday. Talk to me later. Send me a Facebook message or Instagram message. Aloha. Aloha.